Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. Now, before we start, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to checking this out. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, it helps a lot, and again, thank you. Have an incredible day or evening, depending where you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Welcome, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. For today, we have the incredible, the amazing, the super, the badass, amazing, super Katerina here. Katerina, how are you today?
Hi, great. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, what better way to continue to have an epic day to be speaking with someone as epic and badass as you? You know what I mean?
I love this intro. This is great for my ego. Thank you.
Absolutely, always. Now, for those who don't know who is the incredible, amazing, badass, super awesome Katerina, please tell us who you are.
I'm an actress. I'm a Canadian actress. Dan reached out to me, and it's actually a really good time to be doing this. I just wrapped my first lead in a full-length movie. So now I'm in my downtime, my grounding back into Katerina time after playing somebody else and living in that character's skin for a while. So yeah, this is a nice way to kind of integrate back into reality a little bit.
Incredible, incredible. Now,
Yeah.
let's go back in time here for a little bit and tell me where the journey began. Like, what triggered it?
What triggered acting?
Mhm.
Honestly, I've wanted to act since I was a little kid. I know that's a really common answer, but it's true. I can't remember any time that I didn't want to do it. I just always knew that that was my path. I'm the daughter of refugee parents. They came to this country with just that classic story, just like $5 in their pockets, and they were engineers back home. They came here. My dad was delivering pizzas. Like my family didn't have money growing up. But yeah, I begged them to put me into acting classes, and we did find some programs and things like that. So since I was a little kid, I was studying camera, studying script and auditioning. And then I went through a really awkward phase and was a pretty shy and awkward teenager, and
Yeah.
definitely didn't have the confidence to pursue it or even say out loud that that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still there in the back of my mind, knowing that, there was this invisible pull towards this life that I knew would be the best possible life I could live for myself. So I went to university for psychology for a while instead,
Yeah.
but knew that I was kind of wasting my time doing that. I mean, it's not a waste of time. It was a great education, but I knew that there was something else that was a higher path for me that was calling me. So
Yeah.
yeah, finally put all my cards in and went for it.
And there you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's so interesting, right? That whenever you're doing something, I mean, it's like life is telling you that you shouldn't do that there's some things that you shouldn't do, and whenever you're forcing yourself to do it, and you feel like this is not me, you feel horrible.
Yeah,
As I said, I mean, it's basically life telling you change path right now.
exactly.
You're not
Trying
going
to get you
anywhere.
into alignment.
Yeah, it's
There's
crazy.
signs if you pay attention and if you believe in that stuff, it's real.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, because otherwise, I mean, if you focus on doing something that you don't like, I mean, it's gonna happen that one day you're gonna feel totally miserable for all of the time you waste on something that you don't like, regardless of if it was well paid or not.
Right.
We all have like this family member that complains about, when I was your age, I should have done this, or when I was your age, like things like that. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's
Absolutely.
crazy. It's crazy. But moving on here, tell me like what is your initial approach when you're about diving into this whole character creation process?
So I think it's really important to study with a lot of different coaches, and you kind of take bits and pieces of what works for you. What I found to be the most effective,
Mm-hmm.
that's always stuck with me, is that all archetypes of every character that's ever existed are available to us. Essentially, you just have to get out of your own way, and it's like channeling this character
Mm.
and honoring the story as truthfully as you can. So for me, it's really, really finding where that character lives inside of me, and not judging them and honoring their story, honoring their, what it was like growing up in their home, what their favorite color is,
Yeah.
like letting them exist, actually creating a soul, creating a well-rounded human being instead of just a one-dimensional caricature of someone, actually breathing life into a character that somebody has written.
Mm-hmm.
And another coach always says, these are all, any writer out there will know, any character they've ever written, they're still based on someone that's existed. So it's honoring that person as well. So I guess, yeah, just getting out of my own way and finding the character. But
Yeah.
it takes a lot of work to get there. You
Yeah,
still have
of
to do
course.
your homework. You still have to do the character study and script breakdown and analysis. But then once you get to that point, it's just kind of saying F it and letting instinct take over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when magic happens.
Yeah, yeah, because at the end, I mean, your body, you're the instrument of the
Yes,
character who's gonna tell his or
exactly.
her story, and you're basically just the tool, let's say,
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
when that's when the magic happens. And when you're on set with another actor and they're doing the same thing, it's just, that's when I feel like, oh, that's why I do this. That's why I love this. That's why I've gone through everything I've gone through to get myself to this point, because of that magic in play. It's the most exciting thing. It's so much fun. And I just want
Yeah,
to do it again and again and again.
absolutely. And also you can tell, like, whenever either in a movie or a TV show, when they actually took super care on the characters, into a moment that, and I find that very, yeah, I find it amazing when you care about a character, that
Yeah.
you actually care, like as he was like your best friend or a part of your
Yes.
and then when you see that character, for example, Game of Thrones, that they will remove it, kill it in the most horrible way, it breaks you, and I find that very,
Does.
like,
I'm still
very,
not over Daenerys' demise.
you know and I find that amazing whenever they can create like that connection, that you suddenly feel for this character that at the end is not real, but you feel it,
Yeah.
and due to that it's real, so it's
Yeah.
amazing that.
Exactly. And that's how you know that these storytellers did their jobs and did their jobs well. The fact that that their art resonated so deeply that
Yeah.
it can move us to tears. I can move us to talk about it years later. That's storytelling.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's amazing. And also the fact that you can carry that character for a long, long time,
Yes.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And like, has it ever happened to you that there was this character that was, let's say, complicated for you to have it, let's say?
Yes. A couple of times, definitely. One, a little bit for the character that I just played, because she starts out, again, this was my first lead in,
Yeah.
like a big production, which was incredible. She starts out as super unlikable. She is kind of a villain in the beginning, and it's taking her on a journey from that and letting her go through some much needed humbling, and then growth to become this like raw human being.
Mm-hmm.
And hoping that I'm taking the audience on a journey where you can eventually root for her. So it was challenging in the beginning, thinking, oh my gosh, this person has to be so mean to other people in the beginning. And I would take the actors aside, be like, I'm so sorry for how rude I'm about to be to you. And we would just, we'd have fun with it, because it's so ridiculous how often you actually see these. It's a romantic comedy. So it's not the most realistic when it comes to, I don't think that many people actually treat a worker at a spa as poorly as my character
Mm.
treated this poor woman at the spa. But hoping that I don't immediately lose the audience. So that was tricky, because I'm like, who's gonna want to root for this mean girl? But
Yeah.
then finding the vulnerability in her,
Mm.
and finding that place where discovering, okay, this is why she treats people this way. It's, she's never known love, and she didn't receive love from her family, and it's a shield. And then really discovering that part of the character where, okay, she's just this wounded human, and these are her defense mechanisms. And and she still deserves love.
Mm.
And yeah, just allowing myself to go there and not judge her and to have fun with it. So I
Yeah.
mean, I hope it comes across. We'll see. It's still being edited, but it was really fun. It was really challenging as well because everything is filmed. Most things are filmed based on location, so they're
Mhm.
not done in chronological order. So on day one, I'd have to go from, we'd be on page 5 in the script, and then the next scene would be page 63. And I'm in an entirely different place on my journey at that point. I'm falling in love. I'm humbled. I'm kinder. I speak differently. I
Mm.
walk differently at that point versus in the beginning where I'm all surface and all about materialism and things like that. So that was such an incredible challenge to jump from different timelines in the
Yeah.
story. Yeah, it's you don't realize that when you're watching something most of the time, but you can be several different versions of a person in one day. Not just people,
Yeah.
but versions of that other person as well.
And like during, like whenever you're on set, like do you stay on character like the whole time on it, or only between
No,
takes?
no, I learned a long time ago that I mean, I used to learn like that. I had a coach in Toronto that was all about method, and
Hmm.
that's a really dangerous way to live your life. And it's not healthy to go full method. When I moved to LA for a little while, and I was studying with the Beverly Hills Playhouse, their theater program, which was one of the best things I ever did. And they are they really talk about wanting to have healthy actors because they lost, it was right around the time when Heath Ledger took his own life
Oh, okay.
after
Yeah.
immersing himself in
Hmm.
this really disturbed character. And we don't want that. We don't want people to completely lose themselves. I do talk about getting out of my own way, but then the importance of coming back to myself after as well.
Absolutely.
And setting those healthy boundaries. At the same time, we really pretty much do anything for our art when we're committed, so it is a thin line. But no, if I were to go full method, I would be probably burning bridges, especially with how my character was in the beginning. But I do find that some of her mannerisms and her qualities stick with me.
Mm.
And I did find where sometimes I would talk to somebody and I go, oh, that was my character. Oh my gosh, it's this funny thing that just happens after you live with somebody else for a while inside your skin. And it's amazing. And then I'm kind of I want to keep the parts of her that I thought helped me make me better too.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, has it ever happened to you that from all of the characters that you have played at the moment, that every now and then a little bit of that character will come off, or
Totally. Totally. Yeah, I mean my character's sassier than I am. And
okay.
I think she's more confident than I am. And some of that has kind of stuck with me, which is great. Even I had to get my nails done for the character. And now I have these like long glittery nails, which I play guitar and I rock climb, so I'd usually have these short nails. But now because of my character, I feel more feminine and I feel fancier. So I feel like I talk differently. And these little things that just kind of
Yeah.
weren't there before are here now, which is fun. And I kind of want to see over the years how many different little quirks like that I'll retain from all the different characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Like those little details, right? Like those small
Yeah.
things. Yeah, that's really cool. Wow. Now, what has been some of the worst additions you ever had?
Oh, how much time you got? Uh,
Whatever you need. Mm.
so one of the worst auditions I ever had was, oh gosh, it was when in-person auditions were still happening, and I got a call back for it, and it was to be a dog in a dog show. And
Okay.
it was I mean, gosh, things we do. Like when they tell us to jump, we ask how high. And I just can't get this degrading image of myself running around as though I'm in a dog show in this casting director's room. That was That was probably the worst one.
Mm,
It felt degrading. It was
yeah,
like, bark like a dog, you know, like jump like a monkey, just didn't, and we're like, okay, whatever you want, because we want that part.
yeah, absolutely. But like with all of the actors that I've interviewed, I have discovered that the weirdest auditions ever are for commercials.
It was a commercial audition.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was for a Super Bowl commercial though. So I think I gave it a little bit more leeway there. Where I was like, well, that'd be great. And I've done a
Yeah.
Super Bowl commercial before, which was amazing. It's such a thrill. It's like winning the jackpot of commercials. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, but
But
it's
that
so,
one,
but
yeah.
yeah, but like for commercials, it will ask you like really weird stuff, or, I find them super funny. Like whenever I watch a commercial, because their reactions is like nobody will react like that whenever they're eating something. But I mean, I get it, of course, it's part of the whole thing. But it's so funny, that fact that have to like play that, or for example, where they're like promoting a certain type of, yeah, like a certain food, and they have to eat it again and again and again and again and again,
Mhm.
So yeah, it's funny.
We do a lot of things that we wouldn't normally do in our craft,
I mean,
but
but it's part of the ride,
part
There's
of it.
yeah, there like in everything in life, there's some things that you might not quite like, but it's part of the whole thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
There you go.
And
Now,
you just
like what?
have fun with it.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, you are doing something that makes you happy. I
Yeah,
mean, perhaps you don't like it, but perhaps you should take it as as a learning experience. You never know. You never learn that
exactly.
perhaps that weird addition might help you for something else in the future.
Totally. Like it opens you up more and you just have to not take yourself so seriously. It's just like playing sometimes it's like regressing back to kindergarten. We could
Yeah.
go and, or even when people do animal work to help prepare for the character and they just, they'll act out. Let's say if I think the animal that my character most closely relates to is a tiger, and then just getting into that mechanism and that
Hmm.
mannerism and connecting to that instinctual nature. So it's just really stripping away um ego and just playing.
Yeah. That's the way it is. I love it. I love it. Now, let's say that one day Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, you name it, they call you and they tell you that they have this idea which goes that all of the characters you have played at the moment, they're gonna gather to celebrate your birthday. But the film needs a name, so how would you call it?
uh I've played most recently, I keep being cast as kind of like celebrity heiress type characters.
Okay, okay.
Um and yeah, they often will start out with a little bit of a snooty attitude.
Yeah,
I played Ivanka Trump in a series called You Got Trumped when Donald Trump was running for office.
yeah,
It was created by Tom Green's guys. It was hilarious. It was like a really ridiculous show, but had fun with it and got to play a version of Ivanka Trump. And then the last two that I did with the production company that just cast me two of their movies last year was a similar kind of character. So they all kind of come together to be, I don't know if I can say this on here, but I think it would be called Rich Bitch.
yeah.
I think like I mean,
Cool.
I take her on a journey to try, to
Interesting.
move beyond the bitch part,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's
Hmm.
what they most of them have in common.
Okay. I like it. Yeah. It sounds like a TV show for between HBO, Netflix, like between one of those. Probably HBO. I will go.
I would that's the dream.
It's gonna happen for sure. But yeah, that's cool. Okay. Okay. Now, what about describing your whole career now, but on a drink? Well, how would you call it and what would it have?
So I thought about this one and I'm not sure if this is a common answer, but it's just what came up for me. I would say it would be a fine wine as it has gotten better with age.
Absolutely.
And so it hasn't been an easy path for me as an artist, especially once the pandemic hit. I was on a roll and then I got, a lot of, a lot of obstacles
Yeah.
and lost some amazing parts that I thought were going to be the catalyst to to my career changing forever, and then everything was going to be easier after that, and and those parts just vanished with what happened. And
Yeah.
I thought about quitting. I thought about, well, there's other things that I can be good at. And honestly, at the beginning of last year, I thought, okay, am I just banging on a locked door? Uh,
Mm,
and I thought, okay, but I love this thing so much, and it's calling me. So just give it your all. One more year. I mean, I'm saying one more year, but I think I probably would have just done it forever anyways. But I was thinking, okay, one more year, just give it all you've got. Go get new headshots, go back into a master class, go film some footage, write some stuff, put it
yeah.
on, get some good quality stuff and add it to your reels so that they can see what you look like now, not 5 years ago. See what you can do now versus 5 years ago and how much you've grown. And it's like once I decided just to give it one last push,
Mm,
I booked, and the universe responded. And I went from a large principal on this movie with this production company, and then I got a couple director requests from that, and then I got the lead in their final movie for last year. So it was a dream come true.
yeah.
And yeah, like a fine wine, it just got better with time.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Like, and like every now and then when I want to quit, I just say one more.
Yeah, because
I'm
you
like,
never know, that could be the one.
yeah, I'm like, okay, I'll do one more and that's it. And then I finished it, and then another one came. I'm like, just one more.
Just one
And
more, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I can understand. I mean, yeah, and like what I find, what I ended up finding, because there was a moment too, like not long ago actually, that I wanted to quit. I was like in this
Mhm.
moment, I was like, okay, but what am I gonna do now? I was started to feel like pressure, let's say. So I was thinking about, but then I saw this guy, yeah, then I saw this guy on YouTube who was saying that if you love something, then it doesn't make any sense if you want to quit.
Exactly.
Perhaps the thing here is perhaps you're exhausted and you need a break. That's totally
Right.
understandable. You need break, you
Yes.
need moment, you need
Yeah,
time.
take a break, don't quit.
Yeah, exactly. Take a break, be away from that for a little bit. You need that, regroup, and then later on came back, because like officially quit and throw everything, all of the work you have done, just throw it away because I don't know, because you're tired or something like that.
Yeah.
One day you're gonna feel bad because you'll be like, why did I did that? Like why I should have stayed instead of just throwing everything away.
Exactly. Yeah, that's something I kept telling myself is I didn't, that generic quote, but I didn't come this far just to come this far.
There you go.
I didn't work this hard. I didn't get an agent. I didn't become full union. I didn't do all this stuff for so many years just to give up.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, if you have quit back then, I wouldn't have the pleasure to speak with someone as bad as you. You know what I mean?
It
Absolutely.
all happens for a reason.
Exactly. So thank God you stayed. I love it. Now, like tell me, like, what motivates you? As we were saying, we have those days that we want to quit, but how you manage to silence those toxic thoughts and be back again on this journey that you have created for so many years now.
Mhm. Um, I mean, there's a couple different answers to that. I think the one that is that resonates the strongest for me though is when I witness and experience really powerful storytelling. And that reignites my passion.
Mm-hmm.
And it stirs something inside of me that just makes me that inspires me and motivates me to get to the point where I can be on set with amazing storytellers, with amazing directors and screenwriters and directors of photography and cinematographers, and just this incredible like magnetic pull that I
Mm,
feel towards that I just want to co-create something that's
yeah.
gonna be eternal, and that might, move somebody, and that might help somebody, or make somebody feel something, or make somebody connect with something. Yeah, just the power of storytelling. It's so important. It's such an important and incredible and timeless art form. And when I see something beautifully done, like, gosh, like this last season of White Lotus, just was obsessed. And
Mm.
I thought, you know, the performances were so incredible, the scenery, everything, and like the writing, oh my gosh. That just reminded me like, okay, I just want to go and work on an HBO show with Mike White.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, and you know, as we were saying, like the fact that you can, the fact that you, yeah, like the fact that you can leave a piece of that character in someone else's life, you know, so they can stay with them for a long time. I mean, it's amazing. As we were saying, that even till this day, you will remember movies that you saw like 10, 15 years ago because of
Right.
the characters, most of it, you know, and like, and yeah, it's really cool. Like how can you touch someone else's soul for
Yeah.
a performance, you know, for just a performance, you manage to sometimes even change someone else's life. And I mean,
You
I
never
think
know.
you never know, and I think that is kind of the whole magic, yeah, like the whole magic thing of acting, you know, that
Yeah.
you manage to, besides giving us entertainment, which is amazing, they also manage to give us emotions, you know, perhaps to be, as we were saying, like Game of Thrones, that when they kill your character, you actually feel sad, like real emotion, that you feel miserable, like, you know, like what the hell, you know. So as we were saying, I mean, it's amazing when they create that. And and yeah, basically,
No,
I love it.
it's beautiful, and it has a place in this world that's very, very necessary.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. Now, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now,
Mhm.
a little bit of backstory here. I don't have any experience at all, like
Okay.
zero. So, based on what you know, what do you
Mhm.
think? Like, what advice would you give to me as for someone who wants to start from zero now and wants to build a career?
Okay. So I get this question every now and then from real people
Okay.
that feel the pull but haven't really done, or don't really know where to start, don't really know
Mm,
what the first step is. Uh, First things first is get your ass into class.
I
Go
like
to an
that.
acting class and learn how to do the thing first. Because
Mm,
so many people think it's about images and, you know, just like looking good on camera, and like you need to know what you're doing. It's as if you're going to go and play at a concert but you've never learned, like you're going to go and give a, you know, piano recital but you don't know the notes.
yeah.
We are the instrument. So we need to learn how to play, and we need to learn the technical aspect first
Mm,
before we can allow ourselves that freedom to really trust ourselves. And
yeah.
yeah, most importantly, class. Find a good class. Take all the classes. Take all the classes. And then see which one works for you and keep going. Even some people think, oh, you know, I'm booking, I don't need to keep working. It's you're never done. You're never done. You've got to
Yeah.
keep you've got to keep rehearsing. You've got to keep studying and growing. Otherwise, you just plateau and it's not honoring the craft. So, first things first, class. Second thing is get good headshots, and not
Okay.
just, you know, my buddy just got a SLR camera and he can take some good shots in his basement. Like, no, go to a professional headshot photographer. There's usually a handful of ones that are renowned in your city. In Toronto, there's so many amazing ones where casting directors, agents will actually recognize their style, and just it's an investment.
Totally.
You have to invest in yourself, and honestly, you won't really be taken seriously unless you take it seriously.
Yeah.
So you've got to go get professional headshots done
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
have them look legit. And then go out and do a bunch of student films. Go on mandy.com, go you know, go audition, go work for free, get as much footage as you can, and then edit it together. Uh Throw it on your resume along with this Rolodex of classes that you've done with a beautiful headshot. And then you have a package that you can bring to your agent, because the agents are the gatekeepers and you won't be seen for anything, um, with high production value, anything that you see on TV, in movie theaters, you won't be seen for any of that without an agent. That kind of stuff you can't get yourself.
No.
For any union productions, you need an agent, and for an agent to even see you, unless you're lucky and you have some sort of an in with them, you need to show them that you're serious, that you put in the work, and that you have this mountain that you can stand on and be like, look, I've done the work, I'm prepared, I'm ready, and I'm ready to get out there and represent you, because they represent you and you represent them, and they're like, it's a relationship, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, you've got to, it's not easy, or everyone would do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, like, especially like for acting or music, right? That some people might think that it's easy, you know,
Mhm.
that or like the typical that this huge blockbuster film came out, and then we see a new actor, and then everybody will start to say, he or she came out of nowhere, story of success. And like once you check that person, that once you realize that no, that person has been working for almost 20 years,
Exactly.
it makes sense why that person
Exactly.
achieved that. So I
Overnight successes are never overnight
yeah,
successes.
yeah, and that's the thing, that sometimes people have like the wrong idea of it, and that acting, it's all about parties and all the glamour and fashion and all of that. And yeah, like some part of that, sure, but behind the scenes, like once you actually know like the work they put, like when they're starting out and all of the things
Yeah.
that they have to do in order to be where they are right now, it's super challenging, and it's tough for sure.
It's so challenging. I don't know if you were watching the Golden Globes last night, but even just seeing Jennifer Coolidge's acceptance speech, I'm fresh off of being so like touched and emotional from it, because this woman now who's winning Emmys and won an Emmy, won a Golden Globe for this character that she portrayed, but her speech was so vulnerable and hilarious and authentic, and she just talked about how for 20 years she just survived on these little jobs because a handful of people in the industry believed in her. And she was looking in the room and she's like, oh, there's only one of you here. One person in this entire room believed in her. And now she's known globally. And it's wild. And there's 20 years of struggle in between when she was Stifler's mom and was this, iconic character in this crazy movie
Yeah,
that and she was kind of like, it was kind of gimmicky for a while, but now finally the world sees her, and she at some points wanted to give up, and she was saying how she was, now her neighbors are talking to her, how she was saying before her neighbors wouldn't even talk to her, but now she's getting invited to the parties on the hill that she lives on and things like that. And it's just like, it's wild. She wanted to give up for a bit, and it took one person in the room that continued to believe in her to, it took herself, and it took this one person's help to keep her in the game, and now she's at the top of her game. And it
yeah,
really, really spoke to me. It really just, I feel that in my soul. Like, I know how it feels to to lose hope, but there's still that thing, there's still that pull that just you have to listen to that. That's your, I don't know if that's your future self calling out to you. I don't know what it is,
yeah,
but it's something that if you ignore it, I mean, I don't think that you're going to be living your best life.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, like whenever, I mean, at least that happens to me. Like whenever I'm about to say that I quit,
Yeah.
something happens. Like literally something happens, like showing me like well, you shouldn't, like keep going, and I think that when that happens, then you're on the right path. But I mean, does that mean that's it gonna be easy? No, it's gonna be super hard, because you're
Yeah.
actually creating something out of nothing. You're building something.
Exactly.
It is not like going to an office job that is already established. They have no problem with
Right.
the salaries and everything. As if you're building something from zero, it's gonna take time. And and
It
and
does.
I think also that when you understand that it's gonna take time, when you agree with that and you're comfortable with that,
Right.
it's gonna be less. I mean, it's gonna be like totally less painful. As if you're waiting success, like overnight success, as we were talking about, that doesn't happen, because like even though let's say that you might have the miracle and it did happen, now the problem is gonna be keep yourself on that level now.
Right. Exactly.
which once you realize it's gonna be even like twice as hard as for someone who build like step by step,
Mhm.
because I mean it's a totally different game. And we can see now that if you want to become viral, that's fine. Grab a yeah, like record a TikTok and you'll be viral like this. Perhaps you'll be famous for a while, but now keep yourself there. Which now we
Right.
see sometimes that it's not like that. So
That's right, because that's often just a flash in the pan.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, I didn't
absolutely.
recognize that it's not a sustainable success usually. If somebody just skyrockets, then it might be like a one-hit wonder type situation, but you do have to be smart in your
Yeah,
choices
yeah,
and
absolutely.
stay humble and work hard and visualize. I'm big on visualization and manifestation.
Yeah.
It
That kind
works.
of stuff. Yeah, absolutely, it does. And also, like if you're doing something because you want to be famous, like especially like some of the actors have told me that if you want to start acting, or also with some musicians that I've interviewed as well, that if you want to start doing either music or acting or any type, because of the fame, you're gonna realize that it's not like that, and it's gonna make you feel miserable. So if you want just fame, that's fine, but find something else. So find something, as we
Yeah,
were saying, become, grab record a TikTok here and there, and yeah, you perhaps will be famous. But as we were saying, like it's not that easy for you to maintain yourself at the highest level, and especially if you don't have like any experience at all, like it happened out
right.
of like super fast. It's immediate, like eventually that that epicness is gonna crash eventually, So.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Wow. And like my last question here is, what can we expect from you in the future?
Ooh. Oh gosh. Just to keep working as hard as I can,
Yeah.
but also okay, I'm at this place where I'm trying like yeah, also working really hard, but also just having it flow with ease. I found is the combination that seems to work.
Okay.
Sometimes
Okay.
you're like hanging on to something so tight. There's this maybe like desperation to it. And who wants to work with desperation?
Yeah.
You want to work with flow, you want to work with ease. Um, so I mean, I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I just know that my heart is calling me to probably move to California at some point. I really see myself just doing what I love, surrounded by sunshine and ocean and just the working with the best people in the industry. So, I
Yeah.
mean, what you can expect from me this next year is a couple movies coming out, which is pretty
There
amazing.
you
And
go.
we'll see from there. And where it can lead. I've gotten some really beautiful emails from some really beautiful people that have a lot of um yeah, that just it's really nice to have like a casting director that I really love and respect send me an email telling me what an amazing year it's going to be. Uh because of the work that she's seen me do so far. That was like one of the best things I ever read.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And you know what? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And you know what? I'm sure that is gonna happen. I mean, that all of the epicness and again incredible things are gonna happen to you in the future, because the fact that you're doing it, yeah, perhaps that's cliche that it may sound because you like it. We all know that it's a pain in the butt for you to
Yeah.
discover something that actually makes you happy, and
I
like once
know.
you find it, keep it, so but the fact that you keep doing it and you're showing results, I mean, it's proven of everyone who is either watching this or hearing this, that dreams can come true,
Dreams
and
can come true. Oh,
yeah,
that even this says it. I don't know if you can read it because it's backwards, but it says a dream is a wish your heart makes.
there you go. Yeah, and and also like those small victories that you will have along the way, I mean, embrace them and enjoy them, because sometimes that happens, right? That you are expecting the ultimate role, in this huge franchise, and that's, I mean, and that's totally understandable. But every now and then, if you have like a roles here and there, enjoy them, and make fun, and like
Exactly.
especially like whenever you're starting out, enjoy those small victories, and because that's proof of your hard work, So
Yes, I notice a lot of that even with some like I have such talented friends. It's insane what they can do. And I feel like they don't celebrate their wins enough because they don't think they're like, oh, it wasn't a lead or it wasn't,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know, But oh my God, but these are like, think about yourself 3 years ago and how you were dreaming about being where you are now. And it's really easy to get, yeah, just to forget how far you've come. And I think celebrating each of these wins is honoring them and really taking a moment to thank them
Yeah.
and what it took to get yourself there is huge. It's huge. Gratitude, right? It just leads to more things to be grateful for.
Yeah. I mean, at the end, you need to have an attitude of gratitude.
Attitude to gratitude.
Yeah. I mean, we're just
Yeah.
speaking the truth here. I love it. I love it. And I mean, at the end, what can I say? I mean, your career is incredible. I'm super sure that our next conversation is going to be about the thousands upon thousands of roles that you have been with,
Uh,
because it's incredible what you do, but also like the fact that you're putting it like passion to it. I mean, it shows that whenever we will see you on a movie or a TV show or whatever, we will be comfortable knowing that it's in good hands because you're on it. So
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, anything you see me and know I've given it my all, blood, sweat, and tears for it.
incredible. I love it. I love it. And yeah, I also want to thank those who watched this video. And yeah, thanks so much. If you're either watching this or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, make sure to go follow Katerina like right now. I mean, the episode is about to be done, so in the description below, it's gonna be her link to her Instagram. So check on it, follow her. Let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Katerina, because she's incredible. She's amazing. And also, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. And I also want to thank you so much for taking your time to check into it. It means a lot. And again, Katerina, thank you so much. Keep doing what you do. Keep creating. Keep being this incredible, super amazing, badass, super person you always are.
Thank
And
you so much.
I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. Thank you so much. And thanks
All
to
right.
everyone watching.
All right.